What's up everyone, Riley here and welcome back to the latest segment of Overkill Reviews. If you haven't already, make sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and check out that dang Patreon. I'm so incredibly amped to talk about this album today. If you like black metal, that has a splash of melody, a splash of crust, a splash of that dark fantasy dust, then Wormwitch's latest release and self-titled is out July 26th, 2024 via Profound Lore Records, and we are going to peer into the abysmal ins and outs of the entire thing. Hailing from Vancouver, British Columbia, and forming in 2015, Wormwitch is a fully loaded, melodic-esque, arcane black metal band consisting of our vocalist and bassist Robin Harris. We've got Izzy Longley on drums. He's also a part of one of my favorite Canadian bands, Vital Spirit. We have Mr. Colby Hink on guitar, and we have Mr. Kyle Tavares on the other guitar. They've had 3 full lengths prior to this one, and they've really ebbed and flowed in and out of melodic groundings into more harsher fixations. So which way are we leaning on this latest release? Sometimes albums just feel like a sandwich. There's so many different textures and combinations, and whatever you've sought out in your head that day, that's going to be the best combo yet. All of these varying incorporations of ingredients that have been chosen to bring every piece together to amalgamate forces that are typically standing alone into this united masterpiece. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that we have a load of varying style incorporations here that are brought together miraculously without any form of discombobulation and great taste. So what are these different combinations, Riley, you may ask? It's a combination of subgenre dynamics that I want to talk about. The album kicks in with a track called Fugitive Serpent, and there is not a second to waste. There's no faff. There's no fuss. There isn't even an introduction. We're just going in fast. We're going in hard. We've got blast beats and an oog on literal second one. And it's that type of temperamental blackened aggression that I love so dearly. And if it wasn't for how they're going to play around with everything else to come after this, I think it would have just been like, meh. But like I said, we've got so many different feelings of crunch on this bad boy. Envenomed is the next song that I picked up on that was definitely different in perspective. It has a very super fun, punky feel, especially around that 1:10-minute mark. Salamander slows it down with the coolest, smoothest, funkiest acoustic break to not only get a good swap in tempo, but all around sound that brings in this ultimate encapsulation of medieval bardism so we don't lose that aspect of fantasy at all. It's all of these different pieces that come together, and it's just a chef's kiss. Wormwitch originally landed on my radar when they dropped their 2019 released Heaven That Dwells Within, and it was like if Tribulation had the coolest baby in the world with Dissection. A lot of it landed on a mid-paced tempo level. It was somewhat melancholic and flowy, but there was also a lot of upbeat parts that could have theoretically landed them in the borderlands of black and roll. For example, they had a huge track called Disciple of the Serpent Star. But it seems like they've completely come out swinging with this latest release, and they have put that sort of sweeter, smoother side of more melodic tangibilities on the back burner. And is this a personal preference thing? Probably. I mean, maybe. But I feel as though not only is that level of ferocity on this record really good, but as well as super strong in consistency all the way through, and as well as being able to branch away from where they started from or what we're used to, always leaves things fresh and exciting. The last thing that Wormwitch is delicate and sentimental, but there are so many tiny pieces on this record that feel just so carefully crafted and handpicked to suit it all the way through, even within that really loud, abysmal, harsh grit. There's so much sparkling significance that makes it unique to itself. Have you heard the drums on this thing? Izzy is ridiculously good at what he does. The guy blast beated and D-beated until the cows came home, but he manages it just to keep it on another level that is so tight and so neat, and I can confirm this from seeing them live as well. Inner War is a track that has the most castle on a lock, gorgeous, crisp, cool night air sort of feeling with its acoustics for a song that ends up sounding like a castle is getting burnt to the ground by dragons. On the song The Helm and the Bow, they have guest vocals from Norway's band Kvelertak. Bright and Poisonous is a track that starts off with a sound sample from the Werner Herzog film Aguirre, The Wrath of God, which is incredibly fitting for their level of esoterica throughout it all. The album cover was done by Abomination Hammer. It looks exactly like how the album sounds. It's that perfect balance between the sun and the moon and a knight and a dragon and fire and heat and wrath. And I could literally go on forever about how exquisite and careful and perfectly oriented everything on this album came together from so many different places to amalgamate into one beautiful force. It's fast, it's hard, it has that level of esoteric magic and aura and nuance about it. There's so many little niche things that are happening here that just make it too good. I love seeing the development between it going into something harsher as they follow their career down path. I love the way that they've balanced it all with so many different sounds to keep it from just being a solely loud and aggressive mess. I also really noticed that the vocals aren't underwhelmed and they aren't overwhelmed either. It just feels like everything is in perfect balance in the world of Wormwitch, and that's good enough for me. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 skulls today on Overkill Reviews. Norwegian death metalers Dødskvad are dropping their latest on July 26th, 2024 via Caligari Records for all things dark, deep, heavy, and loud, with nods to really mythological places and some really cool drums in the production department. Check this one out. Manchester, UK's stoner sludge band Barbarian Hermit have their second full-length Mean Sugar out August 2nd, 2024 via APF Records. Really, really good grit-filled vocals and tracks that are just low and slow, baby. And then Austin, Texas has this rad death doom project called Voidwitch, and they're dropping their first full length July 26th on Everlasting Speed Records, so make sure to check that one out as well. Thanks for coming to hang out with me today. I hope you're digging the new Wormwitch just as much as I am, and I will see you next time. Cheers.